This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, we're going to be working really hard in our gardens. We're going to be planting different vegetables and trying to influence the market so that the vegetables we have the most of are worth the most points. But when we're not planting, we're going to be feeding our pigs to try to get points and special abilities. Today, we're taking a look at Harvest Dice. This is from Gray Fox Games. It's for 2 to 4 players. It is a roll and write style dice drafting games. So let me show you how it's played, and I'll see you on the other side. In Harvest Dice, each player is going to get a score sheet, and they're all going to get their own pencil that's included in the game. There's going to be dice, each of them representing the different vegetables, the carrots, the lettuce, and the tomatoes, and each of the colors represent those dice, and the start player is going to get the happy pig face. Now the start player will roll all of the dice, and this is going to make up the dice pool of which you can select, and then going clockwise, each player is going to select a die. Now when you select one of these dice, most of the time you're going to plant them, and where you can plant them will depend on your score sheet. These are the different numbers and the columns that you can plant them. So if I plant this 6th tomato, I have to place it in the 6th column in an open spot. Now when placing these, you'll draw out what it looks like. Triangle for the carrot, square for the lettuce, and circle for the tomato. And I'm a terrible artist, so I just keep to the shapes, but if you like, you could make it look just like the picture. So we're playing a 4-player game here, and the other 3 players got their dice in clockwise order, so I'm going to select the 4 of carrots and plant that there by drawing the triangle here in an open spot in the 4 column. Now let's say the other 3 players then selected their dice one at a time, and they planted those on their score sheet. There's always going to be 1 die left at the end. This is going to change the market, how much these are worth at the end of the game. So whatever dice is left, you're going to place an X in that spot. Regardless of what the pip value is, you're just going to place an X. This has now made carrots worth 2 because all of them start with 1 X's, as you can see. But now the carrots are worth 2. So if the game ended right now, my carrot would be worth 2 points. We'd then pass the pig to the next player. That player would roll the dice, and we'd start another round. Now the first vegetable of each type can be placed in any open spot, assuming it's in the correct column number. However, after that, each vegetable has to be placed orthogonally adjacent to one of its type. So the lettuce could only be placed, left, up, right, up, and down from each of those on the next time I place a lettuce. The carrot could only be placed, let's say, on a 3, 5, or the 4 below it. But let's say I don't want to plant a die. I don't have to always plant. Instead, I could feed the pig. So let's say I'm going to take this 6th tomato, and instead of planting it, I am going to feed it to my pig. I take the number of pips on that die and put that many X's on the pig itself. Now when you complete a row on the pig, it opens up a bonus spot for you. That's the little pink star there. That allows you to have the special ability of manipulating the dice by 1 or -1. So let's say there was this die that I really wanted. It was a 6. I couldn't place it a carrot because it's not next to 1, but I could use my ability to change it to a 5 and plant it there. And then I would then also mark off that bonus star as well. This continues until one of 3 things happens. Either somebody completes their garden all the way, or one of the vegetables gets filled up all the way in the market, or one person finishes filling up their pig all the way. When this happens, you'll take the amount of X's in each vegetable, you'll multiply that by the amount of those vegetables you have, and put the score below it. You'll do that for each of the vegetables. You'll then look at the goals, and you'll see you'll get 5 points for each completed row there, and then you'll score the pig score for the highest amount of pigs that you've fed, and you get the points on the right there. The one with the most points is the winner. There's also a 2-player variant where you'll use 2 dice of each color, and that's to keep things tight and scaled. And you'll get a new score sheet, which has some advanced things for it. Number 1, you're going to get bonuses for having the most of each of the different vegetables. So if you have the majority of the most, you'll get bonus, and whoever fed the pig the most as well. There's also a new ability where instead of just being able to manipulate the die value, you can also change the color. So if I want to change this lettuce to something else, I could check off one of those bonus spots I have open and make it either a carrot or a tomato. All right, well, there is Harvest Dice. Now, the look and feel of this game and the theme is very cute, very family-like, cartoonish types drawings, very light and friendly, but I liked it. It was clean, I liked the art style, it was colorful, all the graphic design and things were very clear. So overall, it's a nice looking package, and I tend to really love these smaller roll and write games. This has a low barrier of entry. It's a very simple game. I mean, I taught it to my wife, and usually it takes her 2 or 3 games of anything to kind of catch on, but even halfway through the first game, she got what she was trying to do, and it was just really easy for her to figure this out. So it's very simple from a mechanic standpoint, where you're rolling dice, drafting, and planting or feeding the pig, but there are some good choices. You're drafting again, for yourself, but you're also drafting against others. So you can be looking at your choices, and you might have 1 or 2 or 3 choices to deal with, and you just kind of look over to the player to the left and say, hey, what do they need? Ooh, if we don't do this, if they don't have this dice here, then they're not gonna be able to plant, they're gonna have to feed the pig. So yeah, let's take this one. And so there's a lot of this interaction between if you're watching what other players need and what they want and what's out there. It's interesting because you can really change how the game's played by taking certain things to sort of hurt all the other players. I like the economics of the market. I typically like economic games, and I liked how it was sort of the end. Whatever die you did not take is the one that influences the market, and I like that because you're trying to get things to go up, and as things go up, people are going to start taking those, which typically will make sure that the things that nobody wants will end up going up towards the end. I'm going to speak a little bit more about this in some of the cons, but I do like the economic aspect of the market. I like that you're really trying to figure out on your turn, hey, which of these vegetables do I think is going to be worth the most? How can I get the most of these? And you're also looking at, as the game goes on, you're looking at how many points each of the vegetables are, you're looking at how many you have of each of them, and you're really calculating which one of these is actually more beneficial to me, and you're looking at spatially on your board, how do I make sure I don't block myself into a corner over here? I like the advanced variant. In fact, even after the first game that we played this, my wife and I started playing the advanced variant because it's really not that more advanced. You just get 1 additional special ability and you get the bonuses for the majorities. Now, it does take even more looking around of what's going on, especially if you're playing with more players. So I would, gamers, I'd say you could probably just start with the advanced variant, but if you're playing this with people that don't typically play these types of modern board games, I would start with the basic and then quickly get to the advanced, because there are better choices there for that, even though it's still quite simple. I also like how the scores are always seem to be very tight, except once my wife totally destroyed me. But other than that, most of the time, it's usually very tight there, and I like that aspect of it. So anything I didn't like about it? Well, I talked earlier about how I like the economics of the market. And I started to talk about how, hey, when things start to go up, people are going to start grabbing those dice, which means something else is going to go up. And then people start grabbing those dice and something else is going to go up. It's very hard to almost force something to stay at 0 or force something to go way up, because as it starts to go up, people are going to grab it. So what I found is that towards the end of the game, early in the game, it has like an arc. Something will shoot way up, and then maybe something else will shoot way up. But towards the end of the game, usually everything's within 1 of each other, maybe 2 at the most. But we don't see it swing heavy like that. I'd like to be able to see it swing heavy, because it would be even tougher decisions to make. So I wish the economics of the market were a little bit less balanced. I know that sounds like a weird thing, because things tend to stay pretty close to each other, which is why the scores are so tight. So there are tough decisions. It's very tight, and a lot of people will like that tightness. I just wish it wasn't always so close. I also, from the roll and write genre, I think this is a good addition to it. It doesn't do anything new to the genre. We've seen dice drafting before. A couple games came out this year, even that the last die that didn't get picked, something bad happens with it. In this case, it's something good, but that's been done again this year. So this isn't anything earth-shattering, nothing new here, but if you're looking for a fun theme and a small, inexpensive game that's fun and light to play that you can teach non-gamers, and you can enjoy it with gamers with the advanced variant, then Harvest Dice is going to be one you're going to want to check out, and I can recommend it for you. This has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.